There we go. Okay, good morning. This is the regular meeting for the Madera County Board of Supervisors, Tuesday, October 10th. The meeting is now open and we'll begin. Are there any additions to the agenda?
Chair and members of the board, there is a request to consider an addition to your agenda. It came up and to the attention of the county after the agenda was posted at the end of last week, and there is a request to take immediate action prior to your meeting next Tuesday. The item is a letter to Governor Newsom related to the winter storm event and the executive order coming out of the state for 22-23. If there is a desire by the board, 2/3 vote to consider this item under later on in the agenda under pending legislation.
Okay.
There are copies for members of the board and there will be some available to the public as well.
Yeah, if
Here.
I'm not mistaken, that's in regarding to the wording of the disaster declaration, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, we can take,
Yes.
I'll hear a motion to take up the item.
Chair, I'd add to move the letter of support or move to add the letter of support to the agenda.
I'll second that.
Okay. And that's finding that the need arose after the posting of the agenda. So any comment from the public? Hearing none online. Let's
None
vote.
online.
Let's vote.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Chairman Rogers,
Yes.
vote passes 5-0.
Okay, county council can read the rest of closed session into the agenda.
Yes, Chair and members of the board, I will add for the record that item 2E as in Edward will not be read into the record.
Okay.
There are 5 items. One is labor negotiations under Government Code 54957.6. Your agency designated representatives are Roman Noriega, Joe Begay, and Susan Carter. The employee organization is all units, excluding elected officials, but including all classifications of unrepresented employees. There are 3 existing litigation matters under Government Code Section 54956.9 subsection D1. The first case is Valley Groundwater Coalition versus County of Madera, MCV 087677. That's a Madera Superior Court case. Along with the other as well is Madera Irrigation District versus the County of Madera. That's Madera Superior Court case number MCV 087598. And the last is Brickyard Business Park Association Incorporated versus the County of Madera, case number MCV 088459. The last item is under Government Code Section 54957. There is a discussion related to the position of Director of Public Works, and employee appointment and employment is that matter to be discussed. Thank you.
Okay, any comment from the public on these items? Don't see anybody coming forward, anyone online. Okay, hearing none, we'll retire to closed session. Going to go out and get a picture with the pink car project, and we will return. We'll begin the meeting. So about 5 minutes. County Council, do we have anything to report from closed session?
Chair, there's no reportable action from your closed session. However, there are additional items to discuss to finish the agenda.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Do we have anyone to open and close in memory of this morning for our meeting? No one? Okay. Let's remember the nation of Israel this morning as they and the many people who were killed in the attacks. So we'll observe just a moment of silence for all of those people. Thank you. There were, according to what I know, there were 9 Americans killed in those attacks, and we don't know who all was injured or killed in those attacks. So let's continue to remember and think about those people in our prayers and our thoughts. This time, we're going to open our meeting and with an invocation and a pledge of allegiance. Do we have someone from the Ministerial Association here today? Okay. Rob, would you do us the honors? I hate to keep asking you, but he's a well-prayed man, so he can lead us in the invocation. And after that, for the Pledge of Allegiance, I'm going to ask Nick Salinas if he'll lead us this morning.
Good morning, everybody. I'd like to, as the chairman mentioned, not only do we have conflicts in the Middle East, but all around our globe. We still have wars in Eastern Europe, and really, there's a lot of conflicts that are going on that we're not even aware of. It's whatever's picked up in the media. But in spite of that, we know who's still in control. In fact, I'd like to share a verse from John 14:27 that Jesus, when he was with his disciples at the Last Supper, said that peace I leave with you, my peace I give you. I do not give to you as the world gives. That's the key. Do not let your hearts be troubled and do not be afraid. So let's go ahead and go to prayer. Father, thankful for your word, and we're thankful for the guidance, comfort, wisdom that it gives us. We pray for your guidance in today's meeting. We're thankful for those here in attendance. We're thankful for our citizens here in Madera County. And we just pray for their provision, their guidance, their peace. We ask this in Christ's name, amen.
Thank you so much for that. Nick. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, public comment.
The first 15 minutes of each regular session are set aside for members of the public to address the board on any matter under the jurisdiction of the board, but not appearing on the agenda. The board will not take any action on any items presented under public comment. Speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the board is asked to print their name clearly on the speaker sheet at the podium and state their name and county of residence for the record.
And Chair, I'll just add for the record also, thank you for letting me interrupt. There are some technical issues that we were experiencing last meeting. Anyone that's attending this meeting online can provide public comment if they wish. We would just ask that you would signal with a hand raise that you'd like to be, like to make public comment, and that'll be the process throughout the meeting.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members
Morning.
of the board. Brian Rohde, Deputy CIO of Network and Security. And as mentioned last week, here I am back to continue Security Awareness Month. And one of the things that, oh, I'm sorry, the presentation is not up. Generally, it doesn't matter, but I'm showing you a video because it's much more interesting than I.
What's going on here?
Perfect.
There we go.
So one thing that I'd like to convey this morning is that hackers actually don't break in, they log in. And as I mentioned last week, they do this via social engineering. And there are many of ways that we can combat social engineering. So I prepared a short video to show some of those techniques.
Phishing remains a huge threat, both personally and professionally. Successful attacks lead to a wide range of unwanted consequences, like data theft or malware infections. Before clicking on anything or responding to emails from any organization or individual, ask yourself these questions to help determine if the email is real or not. Is this really from who I think it's from? Closely inspect the sender's email address for any slight misspellings or oddities. Keep in mind that display names can be manipulated to say anything, and that scammers often steal real company logos and color schemes to make emails appear legitimate. Am I addressed by name in the greeting? Look out for generic greetings. Unlike legitimate entities that will address you by your real name or username, phishing emails usually opt for generic greetings. Are there a lot of misspelled words or grammatical errors? Common warning signs of generic phishing attacks include random or misplaced punctuation, bad spelling, poor grammar, and awkward phrasing. Is there a sense of urgency in the message? If an email says you have won an all expenses paid vacation if you click now, or warns you that your account has been compromised and you must log in immediately, you should be skeptical. Phishing attacks often push a sense of urgency or use fear tactics to convince people to respond. Does the web address match the link? Perform a mouse over on links to see what really lies beneath the URL. By hovering the cursor over a hot link, you will see a pop-up of the actual website address. Many scammers use shortened URLs, so be wary. If it is at all suspicious, do not click. If you need to check the site, you can always type the URL you know is legitimate directly into a new browser window. If the email doesn't pass your investigation, report it immediately. But what if the email does pass your test? Could it still be a phishing attack? Yes, not every attack will feature obvious warning signs, so proceed with extreme caution. Now, ask yourself, would I normally get this type of email from this person or organization? If you are at all skeptical, don't click, don't download anything, and don't respond. If possible, verbally confirm with the sender or contact them through an alternative method that you know is legitimate. Preventing phishing attacks is not complicated or highly technical. Simply remember to read carefully, use common sense, and think before you click.
So we hope you found this informative, and we upstairs in IT, we're actually developing a county-wide security awareness training program that we're going to be rolling out here in the next month or so. And this video will be included for all of our staff to view. And our goal is ultimately to help inform everyone to protect themselves and ultimately protect the organization. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Forewarned is forearmed. Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Good morning, Board of Supervisor. My name is Ta Zhang. I am an IHSS provider here in Madera County. The work that we do, taking care of people who live in this great community, is important, but we need you. Our elected leaders to also take care of those caring for others. Getting paid a livable wage is very crucial, and so is our well-being. As a home care provider in Madera County, we do not have health care or any benefits. We are asking for the county to invest 23 cents an hour for PPO, vision and dental plan, as well as life insurance plan, which would only cost the county about $120,000. This would help us work on closing the benefit gap and hopefully attract more people into this fast-growing industry. We urge you to do the right thing and take care of those who are caring for the most vulnerable constituents. Thank you.
Thank you. Next speaker.
Good morning, Board of Supervisors. My name is Diana Casanova, and I am an IHS provider here in Madera County. I don't take care of a family relative. I take care of what you would call a stranger. It's not a part of my family. I've been doing that for 9 years. We've been in contract negotiations with Madera County for almost a year now with nothing but a nickel offer, 5 cents. That's all that was offered to us. It's a very huge insult to us because fast food workers are going to be getting paid $20 an hour minimum wage starting April of next year. And here we've been fighting for $1. You know, this nickel, this dollar that we're asking for is only going to cost you 16.5% out of the dollar. The rest is coming from the state and federal. So that means it would only cost you, the county, $500,000 to invest in us here in this economy. You get a fourfold back, 2.6 million that gets back into the economy. And wouldn't that be helpful for our county to have the people that work here be able to reinvest right here in this county too? So, so not only is this helping the people who live in your county, but this is great return on your investment. And don't we all believe that this economy needs it? We were told that the nickel is being offered to us because we don't know what the economy is going to do in the future. Well, right here, I'm telling you what you would get if you went with this, what we're asking for, which is just $1 more, which would be $17 at this point, or whatever after our increase, if we get an increase in January, as opposed to the $18, I think worldwide, that fast food workers are getting minimum. And now they're going to get 20 here in California per hour. So we urge you to do the right thing and invest in your constituents in this community. And IHSS provides an alternative to helping to take care of the people in their home. And this provides longer life and real attention to detail one-on-one with the person. You get to know the person, you really get to know their needs and help them out. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you. Next speaker. Anyone else? Anyone online?
We have one speaker online, just a moment.
Ready? Can you hear me?
Go ahead. Go ahead, Sue.
Hi, my name is Sue O'Connor. I live in Oakhurst, California, and I'm here to continue my concerns regarding fire evacuation, egress and ingress. And I just want to continue to bring this to the forefront of the board to be very purposeful about any development up in our area. I was very pleased to have a really great conversation with Matt Trieber and Jared Carter and Bobby McCauley regarding my concerns stated a few weeks ago. However, in digesting that information, which I was told that, for example, the Sierra Sky Ranch, this is an example. I'm talking about all development, but we'll use Sierra Sky Ranch, that they supposedly have to give ministerial approval. Legally, they cannot deny it based on previous zoning and permitting and all of that. But here's one thing that the board has a responsibility to do. It's your responsibility to make sure that our infrastructure is sufficient, that our fire coverage, our fire ingress and egress, our water availability, the impact on the environment for traffic, the impact on the environment for Lewis Creek in that area specifically, on wildlife. It's your responsibility to make sure that those things are protected and accounted for. And one thing that you can do as a board to put brakes on this, to require the EIR studies or the equivalent, is to not give tax incentives to a developer that would not develop that without you kicking them money back through TOT taxes and tax discounts. And so I'm asking you as board members to make sure that you do not rubber stamp and a ministerial approval on these projects, and that you require more community input and you require the CEQA reports to be done on these. And I want you to always remember that the people in Maui wish they did their due diligence now, and there's dead people on the road because they didn't. And I'm asking you to make sure that does not happen here in our mountain communities. Thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day.
Any other speakers online? No one at the podium, so I will close the public hearing. Next item is consent calendar. Public comment. I mean. Consent calendar, any items for special removal or special consideration?
Chair, I just had a quick comment. I think Supervisor Gonzalez had mentioned it last week in regards to retroactive contracts, and we do have a couple on the consent calendar and I think on our up for discussion today. And so I would just request the staff that maybe we add in our board materials, some sort of explanation as to why these contracts are coming to us delayed. I do understand that there's a lot of issues that come up, and sometimes this does happen, but I think it would be helpful for the board and the public to have that information as opposed to just calling, department heads and staff up to explain. So just a request. Thank you.
Yes, I think that's a good point. And it should be rare and not regular. Absolutely. Okay, any public comment concerning the consent calendar? Okay. No public comment on the consent calendar. I'll bring it back to the board. You
Not
had an
online.
item you wanted to discuss?
Yes, I'd like to pull item 5J for discussion, please.
5J will be pulled for discussion separately from the consent calendar. Would you like to do that now, or do you want us or consider it separately, a separate vote?
Whatever you decide, it's fine.
Okay, so either one. Let's go ahead and discuss 5J right now.
Morning, Chairman, members of the board, Jared with Public Works. I'm here to discuss 5J. I'm not sure what your questions are specifically. I can answer those, or if you want me to.
So just give some generality for people who may be listening as far as what this project entails, why this area was particularly identified as having a need for the bus stop, where these funds are coming from, and is this coming from general fund? Just kind of educate the public on this particular project.
Sure.
Just generally.
Yep, no problem, Supervisor. Yeah, so these two locations were chosen at the west end of the Madera Ranchos area along Avenue 12, which is a major east-west corridor in our county, as you probably know. We just completed 2 bus stops on the east end of the Ranchos, right? All the way down at road 37 down there by the market. And so, these were identified as locations that would be, on the opposite end, easier for school folks and people in the neighborhood to get to rather than walking all the way to the end of the Ranchos to get on the bus. The project will include installation of 2 more bus stops on both the north side of north side of Avenue 12 and the south side on the west side of that intersection. As some of you probably know, there is some development things that are slated to happen in that area of the Ranchos, across from the high school and then south of Avenue 12. So this location will be a good central location to have those facilities in place when that development comes and be able to provide the transit service, again, closer to those locations. As far as the funding goes, this is 100% funded by transit funds. So there are various programs that come through the state and the federal government that are specifically, allotted for transit items only. So this is not using any road maintenance funds. This is not using general fund. It is specifically for transit and using transit funds to fund the project.
Great. So we were fortunate to have these funds to be able to build this infrastructure in the Ranchos.
Correct. Yeah. There is Supervisor Poitras might be able to speak to this and maybe Supervisor Gonzalez being on MCTC, but there's a pretty healthy push for mass transit and alternative modes of transportation in the state and really around the country. So there's a lot of programs that are coming through that are earmarking or dedicating funding specific to to transit, right? We can't use that money on other things outside of transit operations or improvements. So
Great. Thank you for that explanation. I think it was worthwhile just to have that out there so people can have a better understanding.
Very good. Thank you. Okay, I'll hear a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, motion to
I'll
approve.
second.
Motion made and second. Let's vote.
Supervisor Walmall.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley.
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Item 6A.
Board of Supervisors Department, presentation of a proclamation naming October 10th, 2023 is Thomas Hurst Day in Madera County.
Okay, Chairman, if I may.
Go ahead, sir.
Well, we have a special guest here today, longtime resident of Madera Ranchos. And it was brought to our attention recently that this individual was going to be moving to Arizona. So before this happened, before this actually happens, we want to acknowledge Tom Hurst and all the things that he has done for this community. And I know generally we don't read the entire proclamation, but I think this is warranted, so stand by.
Go ahead.
So Tom, actually, if you would you come down here? So I'm going to force you to say a few words too. I'm sorry. Well, before you do, I want to read this off. So whereas it is with immense gratitude and deep appreciation that we come together as a community to honor and celebrate the extraordinary contributions of Thomas Hurst, a dedicated individual whose commitment to Madera County has left a mark on our community. And whereas Thomas Hurst, a proud United States Marine who served from 1967 to 1971, exemplifies the spirit of service and sacrifice. And whereas Thomas has not only been a devoted resident, but has also been an integral part of the economic and civic life of our community, having operated two businesses, first as an electrical contractor and later as the proprietor of Hurst Hardware Store in Madera Ranchos, which is now the Madera County Library. And whereas Thomas Hurst served as planning commissioner for 9.5 years under two different supervisors and has been an active and engaged member of the Golden Valley Chamber of Commerce, Flatlanders Day Parade Committee, and lent his expertise to the Liberty High School Senior Exit Exam Committee. And whereas for 36 years, Thomas and his beloved wife Cheryl have exemplified the values of community, service, and dedication, enriching the lives of those around them in Madera Ranchos and leaving a legacy that will forever be cherished. So now therefore be it proclaimed, the Board of Supervisors of the County of Madera hereby proclaim that October 10th, 2023 shall be forever recognized as Thomas Hurst Day in Madera County.
So I know how to use this mic when this green light comes on. Excuse me. Thank you very much for the honor here. I also have to clarify something. I am not moving to Arizona. I live in Madera Ranchos. I'll be here the rest of my life. Except my wife says when I start to drool and I don't know where I'm at, she's going to take me to Arizona.
Oh.
But we do have a second home in Arizona in Goodyear. We go there about 5-6 months out of the year because I like to play golf. And the weather there in the wintertime is just like what we have here today. So that's, excuse me, that's my enjoyment. I also love to fish. And I used to hunt the backcountry, but as I've gotten older, I'll be 75 on my next birthday, and it gets a little cold in the high country for the old man. So I've given that up, but I let it go to the younger men. But I'd also like to say my time on the commission, our planning department here made my job easy. And the commissioners that sit on our commission did all their homework. And when I was the chairman, I used to look at them and say, you know, I really appreciate you guys doing your homework here because it made my job a whole lot easier. And our planning department with Jamie and all the planners and everything like that, they do their job, made our job easier too, because the information that came to the commissioners and myself, and we all went out and did our investigations and brought the knowledge back to us. So I like to give them a little praise too for doing their job, because it's funny, people talk to me about Madera County and how tough our planning department is. And I go, oh, so that means we're making you guys do what you're supposed to. I said, you know, you can complain all you want about our planning department, but I said on the commission end of it, and I'll tell you right now, they made you guys cross all the T's and dot the I's so you could come and build something here. So I praise them for that. But I just want to say thank you for this day. Like you said, when I was in the Marine Corps, you know, I learned that there was a little saying we used to say, either lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. So I always felt that if I got in front of the parade, why, you know, I always knew what was going on behind me, and we had each other's backs, and learned that for 4 years during Vietnam and everything. I was one of the lucky ones. I never went to Vietnam, but I trained F-4B Phantom pilots to be Top Gun pilots, and that was my job in the Marine Corps. And I was pretty proud about doing that. I ended up being a sergeant before I got out, but when you take care of your officers, and they know how to fly those planes when they left my squadron. So, but other than that, thank you very much for the day.
Thank you. And if we could take a picture down there at the bottom.
People don't realize how important that training was, because that actually turned the tide of air-to-air combat in Vietnam. They were getting shot down at a high rate. I think it was 2-1 at one point, and then they went back to 14-1 because of that training. Yeah. Do we have any public comment at this time on the proclamation?
I'd like the board to take this to a vote to see if it'll pass. Brett Frazier, Madera County Assessor. Tom served as my planning commissioner for 8 years. He was appointed before I came in. It was the easiest thing to ratify when I did come in, because when I first moved to the Ranchos, I would go to the Hearst Hardware and just walk around and listen to the water cooler talk for the Ranchos. And I'll tell you, the only person I ever saw Tom lose an argument about what was going on in the Ranchos was to Cheryl, his wife. She was always much more clued in. But I just want to thank Tom, not just for serving, but for his friendship. Tom and I would grab coffee, grab lunch, and talk about the things and figure out the best way. It was a great relationship, but his friendship really meant the world to me. You know, I learned a lot from him. Hopefully he learned some things from me too. But I know that just one quick story. I was at my mother-in-law's house and the water went out, and 2 doors down, there was a pipe burst in the backyard, and we didn't have the piece on the truck, on the Madera County truck to fix it. So Norm Allender and I went and banged on Tom's door at 10:30 at night. We were yelling, "Don't bring the shotgun, it's Brett and Norm." But Tom got up out of bed and to make sure that everyone in the ranchos was taken care of. And that's really who he is. He cares about people and takes care of them. And I'm just very blessed to call him a friend. So I wholeheartedly thank you all for giving him this honor because he deserves it.
Thank you, Brett. Excellent. Any more public comment on this item?
None online.
Okay. All right, we'll move to the next item, 6B.
Board of Supervisors Department, presentation of a proclamation recognizing October 2023 as Domestic Violence Awareness Month.
Okay, so Maddie Mendez will be presenting on this.
Wait a minute, it's Maddie Mendez.
Yes.
Okay.
Good morning. My name is Maddie Mendez. I'm the Executive Director of CAPMC. I want to thank you for the proclamation. This proclamation is recognized throughout the nation, even at the White House. And this is very important to support our victims of domestic violence. But we can't do it alone at CAPMC. It takes our first responders, our district attorney's office, who you will see supporting us in the color purple for Domestic Violence Awareness Month. For CAPMC, we have some stats to share with you. In 2023, 2022, 2023, we sheltered over 44 women in our emergency shelter. And of those, we have assisted 65 victims with restraining orders. And 28 of them, those restraining orders, included the custody of the children. So we offer emergency domestic violence shelter. It's called Martha Diaz. And last year we had 900 bed nights, the individuals that stay. It's an emergency shelter. We also receive funding for transitional. It's my hope that next year I will come before you to share that we've secured additional funding for domestic violence victims for transitional. We need to have housing for them after the emergency services is provided. I want to bring two events to your knowledge. One is October 20th. It's our Soup Bowl event. This is our 21st anniversary. It starts at 11:30 to 1:30. It is at the church, United Methodist Church at 500 Sunset Avenue. The tickets are $15. You get to take the bowl that is painted by youth within our community. We will have a guest speaker available at this event, so I hope that you will join us. Also, October 19th is Domestic Violence Day. And so we ask that you wear purple that day. We have a flyer that's being shared throughout the community, and we hope to see purple pictures posted on our social media and your social media to support our victims of domestic violence. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you. Any comment? Go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted, our office brought this proclamation to the board. I want to thank Maddie and all the partners out in the community, because it takes a village to assist. As a former advocate from victim services, I've seen the trauma and the chaos that happens with domestic violence and how it affects all the families. So thank you for bringing this awareness to our community and for working with our partners.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let's go up and get a picture with Maddie. Such an important subject. What happens in families sometimes scars kids for life. It influences their future. And I think we all need to take a stock of ourselves as we raise children and grandchildren, families, take stock of ourselves and be the people we need to be. There's no excuse to injure somebody or hurt somebody verbally, assault them, whatever. There's no excuse. We all need to take account for ourselves and responsibility. It doesn't matter who we are. And if you've been a victim, break the cycle. Don't victimize someone else because you've been a victim, because that's often what happens. We are a product of what we learn, and we carry that forward in our lives. And if you've been a victim, stop being a victim and be the person that the next person needs to see. That next generation will be a better generation for it. So that's enough said. Well, words. Any public comment?
None online.
Thank you very much. Appreciate the awareness that is brought to this particular subject. We'll move on to the next item, item 6C.
Fire Department, discussion and consideration of entering into an amendment to Madera County Contract Number 12522-23 with the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection in the amount of $13,736,252 for fire service and operations for fiscal year 2023, 2024, and authorize chairman to sign.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair, members of the board. The item before you is just a simple amendment to our one-year CAL FIRE agreement that you guys signed June 20th. There was some oversight on our part, but what we missed was our Amador staffing for the winter for the Bass Lake, the Ahwahnee, and the North Fork fire stations. So what I'm here for is for 6 additional bodies. Those are seasonal firefighter ones that will fill the gap between fire season and the winter time. Typically, that is included in the total package, but so I'm here just for the approval of the Amador staffing, and it will raise costs slightly, but this will complete the whole package. And here for any questions.
Any questions? Any public comment on this item?
None online.
Okay,
Mr.
Bring it
Chair, I'll
back.
move to approve.
motion made.
I'll second.
Motion made second. Let's vote.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Walmall.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley.
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes,
Vote passes 5-0.
thank you for what you do for us.
And thank you for
Appreciate
the
it.
support. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. I think of those guys all the time. And the other night, someone was hit on an ATV out by our house. And you guys responded to that rather quickly. Wow. Serious stuff you deal with every day. You in the sheriff's department, my heart goes out to you guys. I just, I can't imagine what you have to put up with, deal with. Thank you. Okay, next item.
6D, Human Resources Department, discussion and consideration to adopt a resolution appointing Amy Toller as Madera County Director of Animal Services effective October 10th, 2023.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Roman Noriega, Human Resources. Amy has been employed with Madera County since 2006 and serves as the interim director of animal services, performing above expectations, I might add. And Amy is present and available to share a few words.
Come ahead.
Hello, good morning. I want to thank you guys for this opportunity. I started with Madera County in 2006 as an animal control officer. When I left there in 2014, I always felt I left a little part of my heart there in that department. I don't really talk.
Thank you.
Thank you. Like I said, I left a piece of me there in that department. As much as I enjoy my time with Public Works, I learned a lot. I got a lot of experiences. Enjoyed the people I worked for. I just want to thank you for the opportunity of coming back. I almost feel like it's like a homecoming coming back to that department. I hope to do good things for that department and for the county, for the animals and the people we serve. One thing I do want to let you know that our doors are open. They're finally unlocked.
Thank you.
No appointments needed. Walk-ins, definitely 10 to 4 every day, Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends. So we're hoping to get a lot more people in there and serve our community.
Looking forward to the innovative way you'll lead that department.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else have any comments?
I have one
Go ahead.
comment. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Amy, I'm so excited that you're coming on board. I will say that I had a constituent call from the Parkwood area. And they were super excited to hear that you were coming back. I've already committed to a meeting, so sorry.
It's okay.
But very excited to have you in this role.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Mr. Chair, but Jessica from our office and Jackie from the treasurer's office had something they wanted to share that was related to animal services and just kind of reflects kind of the go-getter attitude that Amy has already exhibited in her interim role.
Excellent. Come ahead.
Jessica's not quite that tall.
Yeah, there you go.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Jessica Leone, and here with me, we have Jacqueline Torres from Treasurer Tax Collector's Office. So I first want to congratulate Amy. I know she's already done a lot of great things for the animal shelter, and I'm excited to see her lead this department. But I wanted to share with you just a quick story that really warmed my heart this morning as I was walking into the building. I came across Jackie, and she starts sharing with me about her daughter, her 7th grade daughter's class project. And so she shares with me that the class, the 7th grade class at St. Joachim's was tasked with a community services assignment. So this class decided to give back to the animal shelter. So as part of this assignment, each student was tasked with bringing in a box to then themselves create an enrichment toy for an animal at the shelter. So they put in all kinds of toys and treats and fun stuff for the animals at the animal shelter. So Jackie right now has about 30 boxes of all sizes and colors in her car ready to deliver to the animal shelter. So I just wanted to take this quick moment to thank Ms. Craig's 7th grade class at St. Joachim's for wanting to give back to the animal shelter. And as Jay mentioned, this is just a great example of just having great leaders in the county that inspire children of this age, because it really truly is amazing to see children wanting to give back to their community. So thank you, Jackie.
Excellent. Thank you. That's very great. All right, so we have an item before us.
Chair, if I may, real quick.
Yes.
Yeah, Roman, I just want to say exceeds expectations, I think is an understatement. So Amy, you've been fantastic in your short time with animal services. And so I just want to thank you for all the great work you're doing, and excited to make it official.
Excellent. Go ahead.
Chair, thank you. There are some other public speakers, but just bringing it back after the public comments. I'll do that.
Okay. Come ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, Andrea Saldati, Deputy Director of Public Works, where Amy will be leaving us. So this might sound a little bit odd, but I think there's a lot of us that will say you have not found anybody better than Amy. Amy is your best fit in this situation, and she has been absolutely working her butt off since she's been appointed as interim director. To hear some of the stories already that she's told of us, I mean, it's been crazy. So although she's been a public works employee with us, we've heard more about animals in the past couple of weeks than we ever thought we would have learned. But we are extremely proud of Amy. I know there's another deputy director for public works who's not standing up here, but he is also extremely proud. We are proud of Amy. We know that their daughter, Courtney, who is online listening, is also very proud of her mom. It's hard to do what we do. It's hard to be a working mom, but Courtney is a freshman in Montana studying to be a veterinarian. So you can tell that this is a love for this family. Our other deputy director, Phil Toller, is now a goat farmer because Amy has other duties. So, you know, I just wanted to give Amy much congratulations. And again, it's very hard to be a working mom, and it's hard to do it at this level. And she's doing such a great job. So the people of Madera County, the animals of Madera County, like, congratulations. Sorry, Public Works, but congratulations, animals. You found a great person. Sorry, Jared.
No, I just, I wanted to echo some of those comments. Yeah, I mean, well, partly I'm gonna miss my Starbucks coffees every now and then from Amy that she brings, but, no, I can't say enough about Amy, her go-getter attitude and her, drive to do things at a top level is just something that we've had the pleasure of experiencing, right, in our department for many years. So, as Andrea said, as excited as I am to see her move on and take on this position, which I know is where her heart is. I'm also, a little bit sad that we're losing her and going to be a big hole to fill, but we'll figure that out. But yeah, I just appreciate you guys giving her the opportunity. I don't think you'll be disappointed. We're not putting any pressure on you, Amy, so don't worry about it. But just their family and hearing all the stories about all the stuff that she does outside of when she was working with Public Works, outside of Public Works to deal with animals and those sorts of things, is pretty amazing. So I'm excited to see where she goes with this, and I think everybody's going to be happy. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody else have any comment? I've worked with animals for many years, and the one thing I've learned about them is they keep you grounded, and they have their own personalities and they have their own ways. Different species of animals. I have multiple species on my place, and I want my grandkids to grow up around them so that they can learn what life is really about and what it's like, because I think that's what a lot of our inner cities are missing, is that touch, that it's so important to stay grounded in this life. Anyway, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair, members of the board. Just bringing it back to the staff report, this item and the resolution specifically would be for the appointment effective today. The annual salary for such an appointment is range 15, step F. With 15 years longevity, the annual salary would be $83,533.87. It's broken down into also includes the longevity and the cost of living adjustments and all other employment benefits afforded to department heads. And in the resolution, it also includes the classic CalPERS membership formula. Thank you.
Thank you for doing that technical stuff for us, making sure we're compliant with the law. Have to do that every time. Okay, I'm ready to hear a motion.
I move to approve.
Motion made.
Second.
Motion made and second. Was there any more comment online or anywhere?
No
Okay.
comments
No more
online.
comment? Okay, motion made and second. Let's vote.
Supervisor Gonzalez,
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley,
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Portres.
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Vote passes. 5-0.
Congratulations. This board is fully behind you. Climb on, Amy. All right. 6E.
Human Resources Department, discussion and consideration to approve the Madera County Sheriff's Office Employee Referral Award Program.
Good morning again, Roman Noriega, Human Resources. The item before you aims to assist in the recruitment efforts of hard-to-fill classifications by encouraging and incentivizing current Sheriff's Office employees to refer candidates to apply for qualifying classifications. Current qualifying classifications include correctional officer up to the level of correctional captain, deputy sheriff up to the level of sheriff's lieutenant, and public safety dispatcher up to the level of supervising public safety dispatcher. The program provides sheriff's office employees up to $3,000 for referring full-time lateral hires and $1,000 for full-time entry level hires. All impacted bargaining units have agreed to the program's provisions. Assistant Sheriff S. Steves and I are here to answer any questions you have.
Any questions from the board? If not, I'll take it out to the general public. What is any comments online?
None online.
No public here to comment? Okay, bring it back to the board. What's your pleasure?
Move for approval.
Motion made.
I'll second.
Motion made and second. Let's vote.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor McCauley.
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Okay, we have one pending legislation item where we'll deal with it this time, the consideration of a date extension on executive order N-10-23. And we have the letter before us. Is there any public comment on this letter? Hearing none, bring it back to the board. What's your pleasure? Move to approve. Motion made to approve.
I'll second.
Motion made in second. This is important for reimbursement circumstances for disaster. So it has to be connoted properly. Okay, so let's vote.
Supervisor McCauley.
Yes.
Supervisor Poitras.
Yes.
Supervisor Wamhaugh.
Yes.
Supervisor Gonzalez.
Yes.
Chairman Rogers.
Yes.
Vote passes 5-0.
Thank you. All right, supervisors and staff reports. Supervisor, I'll start with Supervisor Gonzalez first this time.
You know what? I have nothing to report at the moment.
Okay. Supervisor Wamhaugh,
I have nothing to report.
nothing to report. Okay. Supervisor Poitras.
I'd like to wish Susan McCauley a happy birthday. She turned 67 today, my age. That's all I have to report.
Yeah, we heard that loud and clear.
Supervisor McCauley.
Well, I had a busy weekend, but yeah, I did want to wish my mother a happy birthday. I'm just glad I had an opportunity to stop by her house and wish her a happy birthday before Rob stole my thunder. So thank you.
I'm just carried away by all the comments up here. Thank you.
If she's like your mom, like my mom, she's probably listening to this meeting right now. So my mom listened to every meeting I ever did that she could. So that's great. I also have nothing to report. And so with that, we're going to return to closed session and then we'll come and report out on any action. Okay, we're back from closed session. County Council, anything to report from closed session?
Chairman, there are no reportable actions from closed session. Thank
Okay,
you.
with that, then there's no further business. We'll adjourn this meeting. Thank you.